Here we go. Creaks. My chair. Okay. Alright, Mindfulness Monday. I should have called this stream. It's become somewhat of a routine for us around sundown to have these mindfulness streams. Last time we were talking about keeping the peace. Opinions. Voicing those opinions. And arguments. I think it comes back to understanding of self and perspective too. I think, as I said yesterday, it's like the more information you have, the more you can inform. Sometimes you can educate, and sometimes it's simply about understanding the other person's position, where they stand, trying to see it from their perspective. Number 2. Yesterday was number 1. Embracing your wrongness. And I don't know, I don't personally think it's necessarily about who's right and who's wrong. Right? We're all in this together. Right. Number 2, check in with your own sense of peace. When you feel passionate about something, you may harbor a desire to change someone's opinion. We spoke a little bit yesterday about our ways of knowing. One of those ways is appealing through emotion. It's like, oh, I feel this is the case. This may seem aggressive or argumentative, especially if you get caught up in a heated discussion. You may even feel angry that they can hold an opinion that to you may seem ignorant or selfish. Opening your mind to the possibility that you might be wrong allows you to let go of any urgency to persuade people to agree with your point of view. This can help you to approach conversations from a more peaceful place. Counselor Shawnee Graves recommends that you are careful of your tone of voice and speak calmly from a place of understanding and empathy for the other person, even if you disagree with their views. Try to keep in mind it's not what you say, but how you say it. And even that, I somewhat agree and disagree with. I think both are important, right? What you say is important as well as how you say it. Yeah, exactly. Like, the things you say matter. It's not just how smoothly you put it, right? Bianca L. Rodriguez, a psychotherapist and breathwork teacher, advises that a cool mindset helps. If you have a lot of energy around a topic, I recommend journaling, meditating, or going for a walk outside beforehand so that you can speak from a place of calmness. This will allow you to express yourself clearly and navigate the discussion from your heart. I am a firm believer and proponent of writing. I think it's a great tool to use. writing your thoughts down many a time can make you feel better about whatever it is. And the other recommendations here, I'd also agree with meditating and going for a walk. I like to use both techniques, all three techniques. Walking, sometimes I'll do it while listening to meditation tapes or the Calm app. They'll have daily meditation, like meditation based exercises that you can do. Each day they have it, and sometimes I'll listen to those stories while walking around. And in combination with writing, that can help me feel better. Number 3, listen and give your full attention. What people want more than anything is to be listened to. Being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they're almost indistinguishable, says David Augsburger, author of The Love of Letting Be. Sometimes people get caught up in a role because they want the other person to listen to them. Instead, they might want to practice listening. Give the other person your warm attention. Try to let go of your feelings and focus on this moment of human connection. Take a deep breath and let the other person express their thoughts. Being able to talk freely allows them to release some of the heat of their argument. Once they have had a chance to air their view, they may be more receptive to your thoughts and be more inclined to replicate your helpful listening skills. While you're listening, attempt to focus on what is positive about the conversation and the other person's point of view. Marriage therapists John and Julie Gottman found that healthy marriages have 5 times as many positive interactions as negative ones. So if you feel like a conversation is descending into the negative, focus on saying something to let the listener know you like and respect them and are interested in what they are saying. Just a few simple changes in the way you interact can make a world of difference. When to speak up. As you approach your conversations more mindfully, you may find that there are times when you have something important to say and wonder about the most tactful and diplomatic way to say it. Many commentators, including Bianca, feel dissenting voices can be helpful. We need more people to speak up in today's political climate in order to foster change, she says, but overtly trying to affect people's minds may be doomed to failure. Research suggests that when people hold strong beliefs, they're even more likely to stand by them when they are presented with evidence that is contradictory to their opinions. It's like, just look at what's trending in the news. That is something that people focus on a lot. Whether it's the January 6th protest or the condo collapsing in Florida. Yeah, people form opinions about this and that. Let's see, where are we? They stand by their beliefs when they're presented with contradictory opinions. As I said yesterday, it's termed the echo chamber effect. Sometimes people just like surrounding themselves with people who think the same way they do, who agree with everything that they say. I'm the type of person where it's as though when I'm presented with an opposing view or a contradictory opinion, it helps to try to understand that side. And sometimes, yes, it does become a debate where it's like, this is how I feel on the issue, that's how you feel on the issue. But giving sound reasons for your stance, I think, is the best way to facilitate those types of discussions and conversations. The uncle recommends that you start by asking yourself what your intention is, and if it is to serve the greater good, then you should speak up. Like, yeah, the greatest good. She suggests that you use I statements and be careful not to blame the other party, as this will foster defensiveness. An I statement is non-confrontational but direct. For example, I believe and think and feel that there should be equality between men and women. They also help the other person to connect to you as a human being, making it more likely they will understand your point of view. I think in this day and age, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone that disagrees with that statement. I don't know. And the equality between men and women subject, at some levels, it's like men are always inherently going to be different from women in some ways. True equality may never be possible because, quite frankly, we're just built differently. You know, we have different bodies, different brains. Different ways of thinking about things. So yeah, it's like trying to provide context and meaning to the word equality. It's like, what is equality really going to mean for women? And yeah, Sapiens does briefly speak about this too. It's like, why have men always been lawyers and doctors, and women typically the homemakers, the child rearers, and the ones who cook and clean and take care of the home? Why have men always been in positions of power? It references a little bit like physical strength of men, political gumption. I think it comes into it a little bit too. It's like, who is better at influencing thoughts, ideas, and opinions between men and women? Who's funnier than men or women? My belief is, men, they tend to be funnier, they tend to be more relatable, and if you look at, once again, things from a natural perspective, it's because, well, frankly, men need to be. Like, we're just going to need to be smarter, funnier, more talented, because it's nature. It's like peacock's feathers. The same way. Use stories instead of logic. Have you noticed how two sides in a debate often want the same thing at heart? For example, many politicians go into public life wanting to make the world a better place, but disagree on how to get there. Most parents want their kids to grow up happy and healthy, but often have differing views on how to bring up the family. When you focus on what you have in common, you can build bridges. In her memoir, A Land Twice Promised, An Israeli Woman's Quest for Peace, Israeli author Noah Baum tells how an encounter with the enemy, a Palestinian woman she met in the U.S., helped her to understand the transformative power of stories for peace. We were able to hold on to our compassion and talk in spite of differences because we were sharing our stories, she recalls. Today she works to use storytelling as a peace-building tool to overcome the fear of otherness. Noah believes the approach creates an immediate sense of trust and intimacy. It allows us to suspend judgment and open up to different points of view without becoming defensive. And it facilitates and deepens our compassion. Storytelling, says Noah, allows people to consider information they might otherwise ignore. Next time you want to put forward a particular point of view, try telling the story of why you hold this opinion. The listener might not change their mind, but hopefully they'll come to understand the reasons behind your thinking. And sharing stories may make you even closer together. Stories like I don't know, something you have experienced. Emotional landscaping. Story for tomorrow. Today, for the picture. There are several pairs of lips in the background. There's a guy, he's got somewhat dark gold pants on and black shoes. He's got a pink long sleeve shirt. He's holding a pole that's got the teardrop shape at the top. There's a woman nearby him. She's got a green dress on. She's got a pair of lips that she's holding up using her stick, her pole. She's standing on a teardrop. There's a third woman. She has her hair in a ponytail and she's got blue pants on and a pink and purple striped shirt. She's got a red teardrop shape coming out of her mouth, perhaps to signify words. On top of her pole is also another big pair of lips. She has pink shoes on. Alright. Today's reading was a bit of a continuation on navigating arguments, discourse, but I'm partly of the belief that argument is just a component of healthy public discussion. We discuss different topics and different viewpoints on things because we're all, kind of like what I said, we're all in it together. We're all trying, I think, at least for the most part, to make the world a better place. And some of us have different opinions, different thoughts about how to get there, but those different viewpoints can be helpful to solving the problem, because sometimes for problems there is more than one solution. That's where listening comes in. Sometimes understanding that other point of view, that other perspective, can help open the door. Tomorrow, emotional landscaping. That's going to be pretty helpful. Understanding and labeling feelings. I love Dr. Seuss. I can read Dr. Seuss if I have any Dr. Seuss books. I just don't have any on hand. But thank you for the suggestion. Since it was only a half page today, I think I can read emotional landscaping too. even though the picture is really involved. Well, I think, let's see, books by Dr. Seuss, like, what are there? Green Eggs and Ham, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Yeah, Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, of course. I wonder if there are any, like, online that I can reference. It's 36 pages long. Yeah, I would say maybe like if I could find a digital version of the book I love. Yeah, so I can find like a list of books. Seussville.com. Let me check it out. Board books. Saying I have to buy it. One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Is that the case for all of them? And what's it going to take for these books to enter the public domain, too? Like, I really don't know how a lot of this copyright works. Like, I know there's like some limitations on it. But I don't know what the time limit is. Yeah, let me look into it. I won't say no. I definitely can read Dr. Seuss on stream. Yeah, I definitely can do it. I just need I need the copy of the book. That's what I need. Either online or the physical copy. Either way, I could do. But I'll look into it. And yeah, I'd say stay tuned. I appreciate the suggestion. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Yeah, I just need to get the copy. It might even be on Get Epic, as a matter of fact. Yeah. I think I forgot my login, but yeah, I'll look into it. Thank you for the input. Okay, emotional landscaping. Understanding and labeling feelings is a complicated, delicate, and time-consuming process, but it can bring a more positive outlook and stronger psychological foundation. Much like a garden, human beings change throughout the seasons. In the same way that green spaces require pruning and nourishment to put on their best show, people need ongoing care and attention if they're to thrive, and their positive attributes are to shine. Sometimes, however, one garden might struggle while its seemingly identical neighbor constantly puts out strong, healthy shoots. This can be an indication that its foundations were laid askew, or that the soil has been undernourished over the years and its reserves are depleted. A person's present is informed by their past, and and a bedrock, and yes, I've known that for a while, the bedrock from which they have built up their worlds and become who they are today. That is, unless they are consciously, unless they consciously choose to change the situation. Interlaced into nearly every aspect of the substructure of a person's emotion, it's an emotion, an understanding that what each one is, how it looks and feels, and a knowledge of using it to navigate the world in every single exchange. With that is an awareness of one's own emotions, why they're experienced in the way they are, and which is the most appropriate response to different situations. But when they're based on pre-established foundations and have been subjected to the vagaries of time and experience, identifying and understanding them isn't easy. Estranged emotions. Alexithymia is the phenomenon where a person is unable to identify and describe their feelings. This can be the result of an unconscious emotional dissociation as a means to protect and self-preserve, or from being repeatedly incorrectly labeled or treated as problematic by parents, partners, friends, or even teacher or boss. Both can affect the formation of emotional vocabulary and expression and influence responses to present situations. Knee-jerk reactions and the resulting emotional fallout often stem not from the current moment, but from past trauma or beliefs. Some of those emotional traumas can last years. This can make it difficult to pinpoint and name emotions because while they're happening in the present, they might be based on past events and other people's behaviors. Some people will repeat things that they've seen and experienced in the past. It's like a repeat. Figuring out what they're really feeling right now and why, totally irrespective of previous experiences, can be trickier than expected. A huge swell of anger in the middle of a heated discussion with a partner, for example, could be because of a resurgence of unresolved feelings from childhood or even a previous relationship. A betrayal or memory of being unfairly dismissed in the past could easily be conflated with the current debate and prompt a reaction that is out of kilter with the here and now. This confusion doesn't always present itself in disagreements. It could happen during loving sexual contact, where stress is felt because a previous experience was scary or undermining. An ongoing emotion, such as grief, meanwhile, might manifest in sensations of nausea and loss of appetite, making it much harder to be aware of the feelings ruling your daily life. It all depends on the individual. Clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, and hypnotherapist Jonathan Pointer is no stranger to seeing misplaced and mislabeled emotions in his clients. As with most things in life, the framework for emotions is learned, he says. If we cry and someone we take cues from says to us that we're upset, then we learn the name for that particular emotional experience. However, if a parent, for example, responds to an infant's crying with "stop that, you're okay," then the child gets the message that they shouldn't cry, that it's wrong to express the feelings that they're experiencing, and they may learn to mislabel their distress with "I'm okay." Alright, and in the picture, there's a woman with what appears straw hat on. She has red hair. She has a hose and she is spraying quite a large stream. There are several clouds overhead, different colors, some pink, some brown, some combination of brown and green. There's a blue mountain in the background. Yeah, there's a lot here. A woman's laying down. There are several trees. There's fish swimming upstream of the stream that she's producing from her hose. There's a man and a woman hugging each other. There is a couple below that are using a tree stump as a table, and they're sharing cups of coffee or tea. There's a woman gazing longingly into the stream that's created. There's a woman looking through the trees, and a guy with a bucket perhaps there to collect leaves or maybe fruit. Yeah, I would say when you're discussing emotions, it's important to recognize what the emotion is. You know, like, are you feeling stressed, anxious, sad, happy? Identify the source, if possible. And yeah, it's like the emotions. It's kind of like that movie Inside Out from Pixar. It's like people experience these emotions as a response. Yeah, it's like the way you feel. Yeah, it can play out in different ways. It's like, right now I feel happy, right now I feel sad. Yeah. Sometimes it helps to just sit down and think about like how you feel. And you can talk to them. It's like, hey, I feel angry because something bad happened to me. It's like, oh well, okay. There are different strategies that there are for dealing with those feelings of anger. It's like moving on, finding new ways of thinking about that situation. Yo, pro. Yeah, yo. Pro big. Thank you guys for visiting the stream. Today in Mindfulness we talked about a lot. Navigating arguments and emotional landscaping. But yeah, a lot of it does come back to understanding of self. Yeah. And reflecting. Okay, Storm Show. Thank you, my Storm champions. I love Pro. Thank you for supporting the show. And yeah, thank you for watching. Storm Show signing out.